2022. We survived 2021. Woo! And I'm going to say we even did a little bit of thriving. So I'm very excited to be here with you. I am Mother Minerva. I am the rector of this amazing congregation. And I'm just very, very grateful to be able to serve here. Why don't we stand so we can pray together? Gracious God, we thank you for this beautiful day, for the sun and for the breeze. And as we begin to see already some beginnings of flowerings out there, a little bit of spring is coming through this winter day. We are grateful for the things that have sprung in our congregation, seeds that have been planted. And we ask you to help us continue to nurture and to fertilize and to water those seeds so that they can come to bear full fruits for your kingdom and for us here in our community of St. John's and the greater community of Austin. We ask that we have a good meeting where we can leave today with clarity of where we are called, how we are called to be your people. We ask all of this in your Son's name. Amen. Please be seated. So the purpose of this meeting today is twofold. One is to talk about what we've done so that we can all have some celebration of what we've been doing, but also to start thinking about what 22 will bring. What are some of the things we'd like to see happen? How we would like to be seen, how we would like to work together as a church. So that's that's the goal for this meeting today. So before we begin, we have to do a couple of I need a motion. Will somebody make a motion to allow us to have this meeting both on person and any voting that we do, both in person and virtual? So we got a first by Steve and a second by Christy. And we have our clerk making notes over there. She's ready to go. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Also, I'd like if somebody could move that we ratify the new members and not elect them because we had the same amount of people we needed to serve on our vestry and as delegates as we had slots. So can somebody move that?
I so move.
So move, and a second. Bill and Faye have both moved in second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? For those of you who are on Zoom, we're watching your vote, so don't worry. If you're saying yay, we're counting that. If you're saying no, we're counting that. And Bill will let me know, Bill or Faye will let me know what's going on in the Zoom, and I can see a little bit over here as well. So you just know that you're being included in that. Yes, ma'am. Oh yeah, no, it's coming right. So first we want to recognize this transition in our Treasury Department. Miss Sandy Wells is going to come up and help me do this. As you know, Mr. Marvin Rasmussen, would you stand, please? Marvin has been our treasurer for a long time. And we are very, very grateful to him. And this year, and you may have read this in the newsletters already, and you may already know this, but we really want to recognize this transition that happened in 2021, where Sandy Wells was willing to take on the baton. Woo! So Sandy is now a new treasurer, so all money questions go to Sandy. So thank you so much, but we really want to recognize Mr. Marvin Rasmussen, and the treasurer has some thoughts. Do you have some words? Oh, you want? No. Yes, you want to come up here?
I'm sorry, I missed rehearsal yesterday. We want to recognize Don Robertson. He's been a treasurer or co-treasurer since 2013, I believe. And he's done a lot of other things here, but he's been invaluable to our team. And we would like to present the small token of thank you.
And then you want to talk about Patty, the new people coming on. We also have Miss Patty coming on, who is coming in to help us in that treasure. Thank you so much, Patty. We would like to recognize the tech team. We know that in 2020 and in 2021, we could not even have had services without the amazing and fabulous tech team. So I would ask Mr. Marvin and Mr. Bill Cox to come on forward, please, as well as Steve and Paula, as you're going to help me. Thank you very, very much for all the work. So if you don't see mics, if you don't see cameras, if you've forgotten about them, that's because they've been doing this so well to keep a smooth transition between in-person and virtual, and in-person and virtual, and even outside. So thank you so much.
Marvin, thank you for herding the cats called the vestry. For Zoom, can you hear me on Zoom? I don't know if you can, but for herding the cats called the vestry for I don't know how many years, for trying to teach us about the budget. Oh, it's off. You guys heard it. That's good. Okay. Okay.
So the mysteries of technology. That microphone only is heard in Zoom. That's why you can't hear her. So she's going to speak as loud as she can.
Did you all hear me? Okay, I would like to say a special thank you to Marvin for herding cats that are called the vestry all these years to try to teach them how to read a budget and to just do all the sacrifices that you made for all these years, Marvin. Thank you so much.
Woo-hoo! Hold both of them. You got to hold both of them.
Okay. Testing. I'm just going to believe this. Testing. Okay. This next gift is for Mr. Bill Cox for being our tech guru extraordinaire. Bill, I don't know how we would do things without you, and what I'd like to offer you this gift. I know you're sight unseen, but you're here everywhere, so thank you so much.
Thank you both very, very much. All right, I'm going to ask those of you who have been ratified, stay right here. Paula can't get to this. All the people who have served and are done with our serving this term. So I know we have Mr. Hal Hughes, Miss Paula Foy, Rosalinda's not here yet, and I know we had two people who ended their term early, and that is Jessica as well as Alfonso. They earned, and then we'll talk about who's going to be coming and taking their position. So Mr. Hal Hughes, we have something for them.
Hal, what can I say? You're the man. I could not have done this without you. And thank you for our philosophical discussions in the narthex as we waited for the AC work. Thank you so much for all the things you've done all these years for St. John's.
Okay, well, here's what we want to do. We want to recognize the fabulous work that Paula has done as our senior warden. And I have a special handmade gift for her. Hey, thank you so much. We could not have done this without you. Thank you.
Can we look at it? Don't drop it, don't drop it. I love it. Love it.
Thank you, Steve, so much. Beautiful.
Oh, wait, Don's opening up his too.
Oh,
Oh, wow. He's got a ring.
I have to say, don't leave Don either. These three people had the pleasure of walking with a relatively new priest. I will be ordained 2 years tomorrow. New time serving as a head of a congregation. And so they had to walk with me and carry me through this first year in the middle of the second year of a pandemic. So I just want to thank them from the bottom of my heart for all the work with Bill and Marvin, Deacon Victoria, Paula, Hal and Dawn, and Sandy, who took this in knowing that she was going to be dealing with a lot of inexperience. So I want to thank all of them for all the work that they've done to carry me through the first year. And I think in all the successes that we see, we want to thank the leadership team, and those things that didn't go quite so well, I'll take that. That's on me. So thank you all very much for all your work. We do have some new people coming on. So we have Angie, and I would like to announce our senior warden for 2022, Mr. Steve Kushbaum. Thank you. Angie will be serving and finishing the term of Mr. Alfonso. She'll be serving us for 2 years, and Mr. Carlos Lugo will be serving 1 year term, finishing 1 year term. So thank you both for coming on, and I look forward to our work together. Oh, very fun, very fun. If I could ask the people who have reports to stand so we can hear, what have we done? What has 21 brought us?
Well, it's been my honor and privilege to be the senior warden for this year, and what an amazing year. And the great thing is, whether it be on Zoom or here right now, this very minute, despite our challenges, here we are. Woo! Thanks be to God.
Yeah.
And as I reflect on my time as senior warden, I remember that it began with gifts to the outgoing members. As some of you may recall, in addition to the main gift, I gave, and I have a prop, each person a mask.
Yeah.
Right? Remember? And the whole meeting was on Zoom, right? So no one knew what was going to happen with COVID. So here we are again. We're taking our precautions, and COVID's still going on. But the greatest takeaway for me is, I say again, here we are. We're still standing. So. And you thought I was kidding, but really, one of my favorite memories is when the AC went out, right after Mother Minerva left on her vacation. And so what happened is Bill called me to tell me what was going on, and I was taking it all in, probably with a bit of panic, trying to decide what to do next. Bill, as if to say, Paula, snap out of it, said, I think you should call Hal. So thanks for that prompt, Bill. I needed it. So during this time, there's a funeral planned, and try as we might, we just couldn't get the AC repaired in time. So what happened? People from our church jumped in and worked very hard to transform the chapel at a local funeral home into a chapel that any Episcopalian would recognize. This is just one example of how we, the people of St. John's, are part of a loving church family. As I reflect on this past year, on all that we've accomplished, I am even more convinced that we have abundant love and kindness to share, both within our church community and outside the walls of our sanctuary. I am confident that with Mother Minerva's leadership and the help of all of us, there are great things coming this year. I want to give special thanks to Mother Minerva for being our fearless leader. She has energized our members with her vision and enthusiasm as she continues to learn about the people and culture of St. John's. And of course, she's helping us navigate the wilderness of COVID. So thank you, Mother Minerva. I want to say a special thanks to Deacon Victoria, who has been our dedicated, steadfast presence and source of comfort. In 6 years, she has served 5 clergy. She exemplifies patience, love, kindness, and grace. Thank you to the vestry members with whom I served, with special recognition, here it comes again, for Hal Hughes. Beyond his wise counsel, his dedication to the building and grounds and his forward-thinking approach has put the church in great shape for years to come. I offer special thanks to our office staff, Sherry and Nancy, our tech guru, Bill, our retiring treasurer, Marvin, as well as Don, who is also retiring as assistant treasurer, and I want to say thank you to our new treasurer, Sandy Wells. Thank you to all of our parishioners who attend the 1 p.m. service. Anyway, I just want to say that you're a critical part of our church. I'm taking too long, I'm never sorry. It's just an amazing experience to see y'all's generosity. La Posada this year it'll always be a great memory for me, and it's so wonderful to see so many children making a joyful noise. Isn't it, guys? I want to recognize all the ministry leaders and members of those teams who keep our church humming along. I also know there are many others who give their time, talent, and treasure, both seen and unseen. I wish I could name all of you. To Faye, you keep us well informed, thank you. To Philip, Alfonso, and our choir, thank you for the beautiful music. I would like to end with a quote by African-American theologian Howard Thurman, who said, quote, "There must be always remaining in every life some place for the singing of angels, some place for that for that which in itself is breathless and beautiful," unquote, to which I add, here we are. Thank you.
First, I want to thank the Building and Grounds Committee, who faithfully showed up every week despite the heat, the dirt, and the bugs.
Woo! Go Grounds Committee!
Keep the grounds looking good, keep everything working. Well, this has been an interesting year. Despite the COVID restrictions and the reduced in-person use of our facilities, it was very busy for Building and Grounds. We began the year with very exciting news. Thanks to a substantial anonymous gift, we were finally able this spring to hire a contractor to repair the rotten siding on the back of the parish hall. The contractor installed and painted the new siding and repaired and painted the siding and trim on the other 3 sides of the parish hall. When the old siding was peeled off, we were pleased to find that there was very minimal mold or structural damage. And the city inspector remarked to us that the building is easily good for another 50 years. While the siding was being replaced, we began having problems here in the sanctuary. As Philip put it, the lights were possessed. We called in an electrician, and this was a totally unexpected problem. There was a black box in the closet back there called a controller. The controller cost $20,000 to replace. Again, thanks to our anonymous gift, we were able to replace the lighting controller here in the sanctuary and again have decent lighting. In June, the main AC unit for the sanctuary broke, and as Paula mentioned, we had to meet outside for a couple of weeks. It took a while to order the parts. It took a humongous motor that cost several $1,000s to get it working again. This was a very expensive repair, but it served as a wake-up call for us to begin developing a plan for maintaining and replacing the heating, ventilating, and air conditioning here at the church in the parish hall. The Building and Grounds Committee was very busy all summer mowing, trimming, and weeding. However, we were really fortunate to have the Cobos family join us and begin doing most of the mowing on the weekends. This freed up the rest of us so that on Wednesdays we could do repairs on the labyrinth and take care of other tasks which we just never seen time to get to. For example, in February, I don't know if many of you noticed, a lot of the rocks in the labyrinth froze and shattered, and so we had to go around and glue them or replace them. So it was an interesting summer. We had a great turnout for our fall workday, and we were able to clean both inside the sanctuary and plant a newly designed memorial garden. We ended the year by sending out requests for quotes for a new heating, ventilating, and air conditioning system for the parish hall. At our last vestry meeting, we selected a vendor, and we've made our down payment as of Friday. And so as soon as the equipment gets here, which will take a few weeks, probably by early spring, we'll have new heating, new air conditioning, and a new water heater in the parish hall. Thank you.
First, I want to thank you all for your warmth and kindness that you all showed me after my mother died. I really appreciate it, and so I want to ask Henry as well. We just really was overwhelmed with your kindness. So thank you very much. Now to financial reports. We have some available. They're online. So if you want some, you can get them later or look at them as we go. I'm just going to go through them really quick and maybe reveal some highlights that we had throughout the year. The balance sheet, it shows the list of assets, liabilities, and fund balances. And due to some additional contributions we had this year, St. John's was able to pay off the Frost loan and pay it off early. So, for those of you that don't know, it was taken out in 2007. It was for $326,335. And so we were able to pay it off in March, and that saved us 9 months of interest. So we have to thank the treasurers for that too. We also made the Crump loan payment, which is $11,200 in December. That was on time. And the year-to-date balance for that is $50,000. So this is also reflected in the building fund report. So that payment and other things are in that report. So in the balance sheet, you can see our total positive balance for the general operating funds are around $67,500. If you go to the treasurer's report, that lists the year-to-date balances and the annual budgeted expenses for the general operating fund. Basically, it starts with the incomes like pledges, any other miscellaneous incomes that we get, and then it lists expenses such as salary, ministry programs, operational maintenance expenses, janitorial expenses, the copier, things like that. So we started with a budget deficit around $5,000 at the beginning of 2021, and we ended up with almost around a $30,000 surplus. So we want to thank you all for your generosity. With the resumption of in-person services, we received more than $20,000 above our expected pledge amounts. So thank you again. The campaign comparison report is also available in the packet. It's a bit confusing, I'll warn you about that. So if you have questions later, we'll go over it. Basically, it compares our pledges and giving within 2021 and 2022. Also, the current 2022 budget is there, and basically it goes along the Treasurer's report. The Consolidated Fund Report is just all the physical activity that's made during the year. All donations and expenses, like flowers, we start with a fund, we get donations for flowers, we have expenses for flowers. So basically the fund reports just tells all the activity that we have during the year. There's a wonderful graph that Marvin has made throughout the year, and it shows our monthly donations and expenses. And this really shows what a spectacular year that St. John's had. The ribbon goes off the top. So we just had a wonderful year. And again, it shows that we ended up with a surplus of about $30,000. I just want to again thank you for all your generosity this year. And I speak for the finance team to grant us grace that we will continue to be faithful stewards of thy bounty. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Can you guys hear me? St. John's, you need to be so proud of yourself for the support that you gave Austin, the Episcopalians, and everyone person of color. The racial justice team envisioned how St. John's could exemplify becoming a beloved community, which is actually a movement of the Episcopal Church. The vision encompasses many aspects of our community. Our goal was to learn from one another's cultures, celebrations, and holidays, like Juneteenth, Mexican Independence Day, English harvest celebrations, etc. We accomplished this by holding sacred ground dialogue circles, special liturgies, accessibility workshops, etc., etc. More specifically, we had evening classes that focused on topics related to racism. For example, we reviewed a film on segregated Austin, and we shared a lecture series concerning theology from the perspective of African Americans. And we also did a presentation on the life of Papa Murray. So I am so proud of this church. I never thought that we would see these changes or these actions in my lifetime. We are united in our dedication to fight racism as we continue this momentum for the future of St. John's. God bless you all. Thank you.
Am I what? Yeah, I was just going to announce the financial statements were much more popular than we expected. So we'll be glad to print more after this meeting, or they are online. So if you don't need a printed copy. Also, all the other documents that were handed out, again, they were much more popular than we expected. So please just ask us and we'll be glad to give you more. Good morning. As Communications Director, I'm very pleased to share with you that we've had a very successful year in our communications at St. John's. Our various publications and platforms, The Bridge and El Puente, worship bulletins, Facebook, and our website keep the St. John's community informed of our weekly services and events and other important news around the community, as well as special announcements via email. Our newsletter readership is at about 50% overall. That is substantially higher than the industry average for this type of publication, and it's up from about 30% earlier in the year.
Yes.
There is so much to remember about 2021, and pictures speak louder than words. If you've not had the opportunity to watch our journey through 2021 on the website, I highly recommend that you do so. Thank you very much, and keep reading.
I've got too many things here with me. It really wasn't until Paula mentioned that I've been here through 5 clergy that I went, oh my gosh. The first sentence of my report is that 2021 for me means the last year of the great transition or transitions, which started when Father Matt just chose to accept a call in Mexico City, and we've had a lot of time. So 2021 has been a wonderful year to work with Madre Minerva, and she and I are just like cohort, you know. We're a strong team, and it's just so delightful. But also being this last phase, during this I I've been able to start transitioning to do the work I have been called to do as a deacon, and I'm just really very proud and pleased with this work, with the opportunities here. As Sandra mentioned, during 2021, my primary ministry has been as a lead facilitator and convener for our racial justice ministry and our Sacred Ground Dialogue Circles, which you heard all about already. I've been on more webinars than I ought to be, and I've been serving on the Commission on Hispanic Ministry. So este año fue la última fase de la transición de aquí, que está aquí en St. John's, y ahora puedo trabajar muy cerca con la Madre Minerva, y es un privilegio y honor para hacerlo. Después, mi ministerio principal en 2021 ha sido como facilitadora principal y convocante de nuestro Ministerio de Justicia Racial y de los círculos de diálogo de la Tierra Sagrada. Y también he participado en muchos seminarios de web, en las cosas, en los tópicos, temas que eran asociados. Y también yo soy sirviendo como secretaria de actas de la Comisión del Ministerio Hispano. Y tengo mucho gusto de vivir aquí, ser ministerio aquí, y muchas gracias a todos.
¿Ahora sí? Ok, ¿ya? Voy a hacer un intento a resumir lo que ha pasado en este evento. So if you are English speakers, you can just just give me a minute. I'm going to try to translate just very briefly and just do a quick summary. So I'm going to be speaking faster, so it's okay. The people who speak Spanish, they can understand. Se abrió la reunión haciendo unas mociones para poder tener permiso de hacerlo virtual. También hicimos una ratificación para incluir y reconocer los nuevos miembros de la Junta Parroquial como los delegados. So I want to actually name all of the people for those of us who missed it. But todos los delegados que van a ser es Carlos Lugos, ¿se puede parar? Nuevos miembros también incluye a María Angie. ¿Dónde está María Angie con el bebé? Está afuera. Y luego también en la cámara está Kevin Flego, y Carolyn Klein. Ellos también van a servir. So Karen Fuego and Carolyn Klein are on Zoom, and they're also going to be serving starting 2022. Se habló se reconoció varias personas, incluyendo los tesoreros que salieron, los técnicos. También quiero reconocer, is Scott Marsad on the Zoom? Yes, I see the dragon. Scott Marsad has agreed to be the new Christian formation leader. Va a ser el nuevo dirigente de formación cristiana. Y luego los resúmenes, se dieron informes de la guardián mayor, que le dio gracias a todo y estaba muy contenta de poder servir con la comunidad. Al guardián menor, que habló de todas las mejorías que se hicieron en el edificio parroquial, tanto como aquí las reparaciones de las luces y del aire acondicionado, y tenemos unos nuevos aires acondicionados y un calentador en el edificio de parroquia, porque vamos basado en toda su generosidad, y eso fue lo que se enfocó la señora Wells, de toda la generosidad que pudo hacer estos cambios y esas mejorías. Así que gracias a todos por todo el dinero que han donado, que ha permitido que en vez de estábamos en $5,000 abajo y terminamos el año con casi $30,000 arriba de lo que pronunciaban. La directora de comunicación habló sobre que tenemos un video que puedan ver donde se hablan todos los eventos que sucedieron, tanto que se lee y se ve los informes que damos por la media social a 50%, que es mucho más alto de lo normal. La Comité de Justicia Racial habló de todos esos eventos que se hicieron en la iglesia, tanto como el apoyo que se les dio a causas para reducir el racismo. La diácono habló de cómo le gusta trabajar aquí con nosotros. Todos oyeron eso en español ya. Ahora sigo yo. Now it's my turn. So I think eso fue el resumen de la junta hasta donde llegamos. Ahora yo voy a hablar de lo que yo como rectora. Primeramente, muchas gracias a Paula Foy por estar, y a Hal por estar trabajando conmigo. Como lo dijo Paula Foy, este año fue un año impresionante. El 2021, muchos decíamos el 20, ya no queremos el 2020, que empiece el año nuevo. Pues empezó el año nuevo y ahora todos queríamos que el 21 también se fuera, ¿verdad? Así que hay que reconocer eso. Paula Foy really said it well. 2021, what a year. And many of us often say, when is 2020 going to be over? When is 2020 going to be over? Well, 2021 came, and then we wanted it to be gone by about February. We were kind of done with 2021 too. So it's been a pretty amazing year. But I gotta say, I couldn't have experienced this year, the ups and downs, without the people of St. John's. Your leadership, your faithfulness, your willingness to work together is impressive. Es muy impresionante cómo ustedes están dispuestos a trabajar y colaborar juntos. Los guardianes, la junta parroquial, trabajaron duro para dirigir esta parroquia. The work that had to be done at the vestry level and at the leadership level to get us through the constantly adjusting and readjusting, planning and replanning for the events to really figure out how to do this was really impressive. We had growth. There are about 6 new families that have come to St. John's. Nuestra parroquia ha crecido con más o menos 6 nuevas familias. Ha habido 12 promesas de gente que ha estado aquí, que no había hecho promesas, ahora están haciendo sus promesas. We've had 12 people pledge that had been part of the church and had not pledged. 12 new people. So thank you all for this work. El comité de mayordomía. Lisa, Steve, John, Kevin, Ann Faithful. Am I missing anybody? I think that's it, right? And myself worked together, and I want to just thank you all so much. This stewardship campaign raised over $200,000. Más de $200,000 recaudaron los equipos de mayordomía. Estoy bien emocionada a lo que viene, muy emocionada a lo que viene el año que entra. Empezamos a trabajar juntos para oír qué está pasando en la comunidad y dónde queremos dirigir nuestra energía para poder hacer los cambios que nosotros necesitamos para nuestras familias y nuestra comunidad. So I'm so excited about next year because we are really thinking hard. We have meetings in the fall about what is important to us, what do we care about, and where do we want to take this energy? Where do we want to go in 2022? And you're going to hear much more about that from Steve and John. So, estoy muy emocionada lo que viene. Steve y John nos van a hablar de las propuestas que se van a venir y estoy súper contenta de estar aquí. Muchas gracias a todos por bienvenirme y hacerme sentir tan parte de esta comunidad. Thank you all for your welcoming and for making me feel so much a part of this community and being one team. Thank you.
No problem.
Rosalinda, I have a gift for you. Thank you so much for all of your help with me all these years. I remember first sitting at you at a coffee shop trying to pull off La Posada, I believe it was, or Jamaica. I said to you, can we really do this in 3 weeks? She's like, oh yeah, Paula, no problem. And from there it went, so thank you for your term on the vestry and for all you do for this church.
Good afternoon, friends. Buenas tardes, amigos. While I was senior warden, I and other church leaders, many of us, were interested and have continued to be interested in our church becoming more engaged with our community, more mission-oriented. But things like COVID, not having a rector, these things interfered with moving forward on those goals. Mientras yo era el primer guardián, yo y otros líderes de la iglesia querían que nuestra iglesia se comprometiera más con nuestra comunidad, más orientada a la misión, pero el COVID y no tener rector interfiere en estos objetivos. Now, with our new rector, Minerva, in place, thanks to God, we are taking steps to become a church with a community mission we can all be proud of and all join in. We received a grant from the diocese to allow Austin Interfaith, a grassroots faith-based community organizer, to help us reach our goals. Monique Vasquez, levántate, stand up please. Monique Vasquez is our mentor, our organizadora de Austin Interfaith para ayudarnos, okay? Austin Interfaith has said, a grassroots-based community organizer to help us. Ahora, con nuestra nueva rectora Minerva en su lugar, estamos tomando pasos para convertirnos en una iglesia con una misión de comunidad a la que todos podemos unirnos. Recibimos dinero de la diócesis para permitir que Austin Interfaith nos ayuda. Mónica va a caminar con nosotros, ayudar a nosotros para organizar nuestra misión. In December and January, we held meetings, you remember them, among our members. Consider our mission in this community. I believe and hope most, if not all of you, participated in some or more of all these meetings. We asked members to tell us what our church's greatest strengths are and what our community's greatest concerns are. En diciembre, en enero, realizamos reuniones entre nuestros miembros para considerar nuestra misión en esta comunidad. Espero que la mayoría, si no todos ustedes participaron. Pedimos a los miembros que nos digan cuáles son las mayores fortalezas de nuestra iglesia y cuáles son nuestras mayores preocupaciones de la comunidad. we learned that St. John's has many strengths it can use to help its community. Our care and love for one another and our neighbors, our cultural and linguistic diversity, our adaptability, our flexibility, our energy, our willingness to work, and many others. Most importantly, our strong heart for the Lord. Aprendimos que St. John's tiene muchas fortalezas que puede usar para ayudar a su comunidad, nuestro cuidado y amor por nuestras familias y vecinos, nuestra diversidad cultural, nuestra flexibilidad, nuestra energía y disposición para trabajar, muchas otras. Lo más importante, nuestro corazón fuerte por el Señor. Our members also identified many concerns that challenge our community. After studying these concerns, our leaders divided them into 3 categories. These all come from your ideas, friends. They all come. They're all your ideas. They're all your concerns. Everything we have in front of us comes from what you said you were worried about, or what you said was challenging us. We want these categories to become the focus for church action in our community. Nuestros miembros también identificaron muchas preocupaciones que desafían a nuestra comunidad. Después de estudiar estas preocupaciones, nuestros líderes las dividieron en 3 categorías. Queremos que estas categorías se conviertan en el enfoque de la acción de la Iglesia en nuestra comunidad. And now Steve will talk some more about these ideas. Ahora Steve va a hablar más sobre estas oportunidades de acción. Gracias. What's that?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, John. That was a beautiful report. And so we had an agenda of issues and a complication of comments and through the House meetings. And in those meetings, we identified, as John spoke, we identified 3 issues we really wanted to focus on. And the issues are of physical and mental health. And then we have salud físico. And in that, we suggested that we have maybe 2 or more vaccination events, including education about COVID testing and other resources. No.
¿Nada? Ahora sí.
Sí.
Ok, so yo voy a estar traduciendo lo que dice Steve mientras él dice. Las dos se dividieron entre tres categorías. La primera es salud física y mental, y una de recomendaciones hacer unas campañas para vacuna o educación.
So another one of the issues that we in the physical and mental health was that we would advocate for access health care such as Medicaid expansion, also to take further action becoming a satellite center for El Buen Samaritano, and develop a pastoral care ministry such as St. Stephen's Ministry or the Community of Hope.
Entonces queremos expandir el acceso a salud, trabajar para eso, a lo mejor trabajando como el Buen Samaritano, Central Texas Interfaith, alguien más que está trabajando para creer en eso.
One of the other issues that we came up with and thought that we should focus on, and this all came from y'all, from when we melded down into a smaller focus group to come up with these agenda items. Congregational and community relationship health, or salud de institucional. And from that, we want to conduct a voter registration and engagement projects, conduct a block walk in the neighborhood, such as meet and greet to invite church, invite others to our church, and other events that are sponsored by the congregation. And we want to explore and implement activities that could increase the presence of young adults and children within the English services, such as implementing a rating campaign on social media, Google and Yelp, for example.
Entonces, una de las cosas que queremos hacer para mejorar la salud de nuestras instituciones es trabajar para promover el voto, caminar a lo mejor el vecindario para ver qué está pasando en el vecindario y conocerlo mejor, y también para atraer más personas jóvenes a las misas de inglés y haciendo a lo mejor unas campañas por la media social y promoviendo nuestra iglesia.
Then our third issue was our economic health, salud de económica. And we want to develop a partnership, of course, with our mentor and Central Texas Interfaith, so to get organized to help find affordable housing. And then the cost of living and participate in an accountability session that's coming up of political candidates, and this is sponsored by Central Texas Interfaith, and I believe that is February the 6th. And you will find a link on the bridge, and you will also, I believe, find it on the website. So,
Otra de las cosas que es la salud económica. Oímos que el costo de vida ha subido mucho, entonces queremos trabajar para ver cómo podemos hacer cambios en eso. Y una de las cosas que estamos interesados es en hacer las viviendas más accesibles. Queremos trabajar con Central Texas Interfaith para ver qué campañas se pueden lograr, y va a haber un evento el 6 de febrero donde podemos ir y participar para escuchar qué es lo que está trabajando, cómo están trabajando las personas que están corriendo para posiciones políticas.
well, we also want to learn how that we can support the low-income housing community on Rutland between Metric and Parkfield, and the foundation of the community's affordable housing complex that is being planned in our neighborhood, Breaker and Lamar.
En Breaker and Lamar se va a hacer un edificio de viviendas accesibles, y podemos figurar cómo podemos colaborar con ellos para apoyarlos en esos esfuerzos.
I wanted to say that a lot of work went into get, and all of these interests came from you, the congregation. And I would like to say that this is a working document. I urge you that you read through it and then decide for yourself. Couldn't you and wouldn't you prayerfully get involved so that we in this year can make some of these issues through our hard work come to fruition. And I want to thank everybody that was involved and in making and helping make this document. And I would like for y'all as a congregation to ratify this agenda.
Yes, and if are there any questions? Queremos ver si hay unas preguntas. Oímos bien. Did we hear you? Raise your hand if you participated in one of these small group conversations. ¿Participaron en una reunión de estas? Levante la mano. Okay. I think you did it at the 9 o'clock service, ¿verdad? También. So, is this what you said? Is this what you heard? ¿Esto es lo que escucharon ustedes? ¿Es lo que dijimos? Is this reflective of what was said? Yes? No?
Yes.
Yo quiero decir un poquito más. There was a report, a full report. There were some copies, but they're not enough. This copy that you have was kind of like the beginning of it. You can get a copy of the full report on the website. El reporte es pequeño, es parte del empiezo de la campaña de OIR, pero el reporte profundo está en el sitio web.
So is there something that's missing from this? ¿Hay algo que falta de esta agenda que presentó Steve? Y gracias Steve y gracias John por presentarnos la agenda. Are there any questions, reactions to this? Preguntas, reacciones? No? You guys are ready to move on? Want to make a motion?
I move that we accept this agenda.
Is there a second? ¿Alguien más quiere hacer?
Marianne, is that second?
Lisa, Marianne. Okay, both.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Well, thank you all. This is great. Thank you.
Oye, amigos, listen, friends. If you all support economic justice in our community, say aye. Aye. Digan sí, si apoyan justicia económica en nuestra comunidad. Sí. If you all support physical and mental health improvements in our community, say aye. Aye. Si apoyan salud física en nuestra comunidad, diga sí. Sí. And if you support, what's the last one? If you support economic health, mental health, and
Institutional health.
congregational and community relationships health, say aye. Aye. Si apoyan salud institucional, diga sí. Sí. Okay. All right. Gracias. Thank you very much.
This is some time for all of you. Are there any questions about the entire thing that you heard? Hay preguntas de lo que se dijo, de todo lo que se dijo. Is there any questions or reactions? Thank you, Steve. How do you think it went? How do you think 2021 went after you've just heard what we've been able to do and what we're planning on doing based on the work that we have already done? Yes, I'm very excited. I look forward to continuing to work with you. Estoy muy emocionada y me da mucho gusto continuar trabajando con ustedes. Para que esta agenda se cambie de un papel a acción, necesitamos las manos y los pies de cada uno. In order for this agenda to go from a document to action and fruition, we're going to need people's hands and feet and minds and spirit and soul to do this work. So I invite you all, if you're interested, as Deacon Victoria said in her sermon, is there something that speaks to you? Is there something that you're saying, that one I really want to work on? Si hay algo que a ustedes les gusta en particular, un tema que digan, esto yo quiero que se cumpla, I'm going to ask Monique Vasquez, she'll have a piece of paper, and you can write your name and your best contact information so that we can get together, because we will get together to start putting this into action. Do we have a date? El 22 de febrero a las 6 de la tarde nos vamos a reunir por medio de Zoom para empezar a planear. February 22nd at 6 p.m. via Zoom, so we can start working on this agenda. So Ms. Vasquez will have a piece of paper in the back to put you to. Please get excited about this. Woo! Deacon Victoria, if you could give us our prayer, and then we will have a motion to close our annual meeting.
Let us pray. Thank you, Lord, for your presence with us this day. As we depart from this space now, we ask you to bless us throughout the remainder of the day and guide us safely home. Let the learning and conversations and the possibilities of this gathering continue to ruminate within us and bear fruit in our ministries throughout the year until we find ourselves together again. Demos gracias, Señor, por tu presencia con nosotros este día. Al salir de este espacio ahora, te pedimos que nos bendigas durante el resto del día y nos guíes con seguridad a casa. Nos permiten que el aprendizaje y las conversaciones y las oportunidades de esta reunión se continúen rumiando dentro de nosotros y fructifican en nuestros ministerios durante todo el año, hasta que nos encontremos juntos de nuevo. We ask this in the name of Jesus and in the power of the Holy Spirit. Lo pedimos en el nombre de Jesús y en el poder del Espíritu Santo.